we often limit God's power. The moment that a door is closed and opportunity is not there anymore, we think like, okay, that's it. Like we're doomed. There's no way turning back from this, and we just lose hope. And and really, like that shouldn't be, as Christians, that shouldn't be our our view on things when things don't go the way we plan or whatever. Like God has 1,000 ways more to solve your problem, or to continue moving forward, or to guide you. Like he can literally like make something appear out of the blue, and we forget that all the time, and we limit his power. And this morning, like I was just feeling a tiny bit hopeless. um and one of my aunts, she called me, and she's a woman of God, and she was telling me, Jackie, like, are you praying big prayers? Like, God is so powerful, and like we need to pray big. Like we're just praying like, oh, for this. No, pray something big. Like God can do it. Like, and I don't know. Like she just went like on and tell me like testimonies of how she has seen God working like in a powerful way in her life, and this and that. And I was like, oh, like it really encouraged me, because I was like, well, you're right. Like God can do that. God is still the same. Like God from the Bible, all the stories, like those are true, and he's the same God, and he will always be the same God. And it's like, you're right. Like, yes, I want God's will to happen, and it's not always gonna be what I want, but I can pray those big prayers because he's able. And like we need to ask God, like, God, please help me, like to have faith, and please also like help my unbelief, like and as I was talking to her, like I was reminded of these verses that I read a few days ago, and it was Psalms 78, and on verse 20, like pretty much like this whole chapter is about like God's goodness and God's provision for his people, and how like the Israelites were just so rebellious about it and would always doubt, like the moment they were faced with a challenge, they were like, oh no, like there's no way, we should have gone back to Egypt or whatever, like they would lose hope, and they would just like forget like what God had just done for them, and verse 20 is one of those little instances like where like this is what the Israelites were saying. It says, behold, he struck the rock so that the waters gush out and the streams overflow. Can he give bread also? Can he provide meat for his people? Like, so they were doubting, like they were just saying something that God did for them, and now like they were just doubting, but can he do this? Can he do that? Like and it's just like yeah, but at the same time it's like we are just not that different from them, like we do the same thing. And then verse 41, like it's something that I was just thinking more about it. Like it says, um yes, again and again they tempted God and limited the Holy One of Israel. So then I was asking a question for myself, like, am I limiting God's power in my life? Am I limited the way that He can work in my situation? And it's like I don't want to come to that point. Like I don't want to be limiting God. Like am I limiting Him with my prayers? Am I praying just very superficial things because I think that there's just not other solution? Like no, like and I want to encourage you with this and challenge you, like pray big prayers. Like what is in your heart, pour your heart to God and say, God, I know you can do this. And you're gonna find out, like even whenever you have this big prayer, like God is gonna do even beyond that, like, and it's not always has to be what we want, but God is just so good. Like He will work like everything that will be according for your own good, and He can change the situation because the Bible is full of promises, and you can have the assurance, like especially like for example, like if you have made a horrible mistake in your life and you think that there's no way around it, that you're just doomed, that there's no hope for you, like I can tell you, like, because of the Bible and his promises, that if you repent with all your heart, like, he will forgive you and he will transform your life. And the person that you are today, like, he will be no more. Like, he'll transform you. And I've met people, especially like recently, just like 2 weeks ago, I met this guy. He told me his story, his transformation story, and then I was like, what? Like, I see this guy, this gentleman, like, just here, like, very, very nice and very, I don't know, like, very good words and everything. It's like, no, I used to say bad words all the time, every sentence that I was saying, and then I was into drugs, I was into this, and he would just tell me everything. I was like, what? Like, I wouldn't believe it. Like, you look such a good person, like, oh, whatever, like you have things together. But then he would just let me know, like, God is so powerful. Like, he transformed my life completely. So those kind of stories, like, it it really lifted my spirits, because then I'm like, wow, like, God, you can transform a person's heart. You know, like, you can just transform anything. You can transform my situation, my horrible situation, that as bad as it looks like you can transform it for good. And like, God, like, you are just so good. Like, I don't want to limit your power anymore. I don't want to limit your power. And I want to learn to pray big prayers and trust that you have the power to do them, to do that. And I don't know, like, that's my challenge for you today. And yes, like, trust in God. Like, He is able to do even more than what you can imagine.